Hi, this is Lorna, Therapy Talks with LB. Hope you had a great week, and I hope that some of the tips that we talked about earlier in the week were helpful. Tonight, I wanted to talk with you about self-care. What is your routine for self-care? What do you consider self-care for you? Some of us enjoy getting our hair done, our nails done, and taking care of our outer part of our bodies. What about the inside of us? So, tonight we're going to talk about the totality of self care and what that looks like, which includes, from my perspective, includes our mind, our body, and our spirit. So, when we talk about the mind, what is our self talk like? How do we talk to ourselves? It is very important that we talk to ourselves in a forward movement, in a positive manner, that we don't put ourselves down. You often hear the term, or we use the term, I'm my worst critic. I often tell people, you should be your biggest cheerleader, not your worst critic. There's other people to take care of that. You should be your biggest cheerleader. So when you're feeding your mind, your self-talk needs to be positive as much as possible. We're all going to be down on ourselves when we make mistakes sometimes, but it is okay that we make mistakes. It helps us to improve and to get better the next time around. So give yourself some grace, uplift yourself. Say, I may have not done well this time, but I bet you I get it next time. Another thing with the mind is, what are we feeding it also? I know a lot of people I speak with, family, friends, others. How much news are you intaking? When you wake up in the morning, is the first thing that you start your day with is the daily news? You want to catch up on the things that you missed overnight? Think about that. What are you feeling like after you hear some of the things on the news? Because most of the things on the news are not really supporting, encouraging, uplifting. A lot of those things are very sad, which can create a depressed mood, anxiety, feeling down, or just sometimes feeling angry. A lot of things that are being played on the news and shown on the news, they leave us feeling angry, and maybe even angry at a certain group. And whereas if we wasn't just inputting that into our minds every single day, we might feel better, and we may be less judgmental when we see and speak with others. So that's something to consider, what we're putting into our minds. Positive self-talk, encouraging ourselves, uplifting ourselves. There goes Kitty again. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. All right. So sorry about that. That was Callie making her appearance. But I really want you to think about saying good things to yourself. You got this today. You're going to go through the day and be as positive as possible. Impart that on to other people that you encounter as well. And that you're in a good headspace to take care of the business that is your work to do for that day. The next thing I want to talk about is the body connection when we talk about self-care. What are we feeding our bodies? And I'm talking about what we eat, what we drink, and any other substances that we're putting inside of our bodies. I know if I have an intake of sugar, I am going to crash midday. We all have our coffee. A lot of us like our creamers. Certain restaurants that we like to go to, coffee shops, when we get our coffee, we have our special one that we like to give us what we call a boost for the day, or just something cozy to drink. But a lot of it is full of sugar. And we know that too much sugar is not good for us, right? So if that's something that you want to start decreasing, you don't have to do it all at once. That can be overwhelming. But we can start small. Start maybe just using less or using an alternative sweetener, something that's healthy. There are some alternative sugars that are worse than the regular white sugar that we use. So just something to think about if we want to start decreasing that area. I bring up sugar because it's highly addictive and it's something that most of us use on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So that's why I bring up sugar. Also, processed foods and fast food. If we're on the run, like we typically are, we have a lot to do in a day, and eating something quick usually is fast food. We don't always have a lot of time during our lunch hour or lunch 30 minutes to go somewhere and sit down and have a decent meal. It's okay if we start bringing our lunch, or if we have a smoothie that carries us over until we get off work and maybe have a healthy dinner and able to sit down and enjoy that and digest it well. Just another thing to think about, when we're talking about the whole aspect of what self-care looks like. So we've talked about the mind and we've talked about the body. Lastly, I want to talk about our spirit. What are you feeding your spirit every day? For myself, part of my self-care includes feeding my spirituality, making space for me and God to be in connection with one another, reading my Bible or listening to something on video related to spirituality, and meditating on it. Meditating on what I've read, what I've heard, and sometimes connecting with a friend and us going over what I've read or what we both have read and discuss it. I think it's very important that we have a connection with our spirituality. Everyone has their own way of moving about what they call spiritual growth. So for me, my spiritual growth is taking time out for my relationship with God, my higher power. And by feeding my spirituality, I need to read. I need to make space and time for that interaction with me and God. It's a special and a very intimate relationship that I have, and that most people have with their higher power. So that is the last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Another thing to add to your spirit is inputting positivity, encouragement, uplifting things. So today's topic was about self-care, taking care of our outer as well as our inner, our mind, our body, and our spirit. Include everything in how we take care of ourselves. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead. It was great speaking with you midweek, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you for your time today.